Their separate investigations finished, all 9 people returned to where they'd left one another. The result of all their work was nothing. They were completely sealed in. Their hard work had not gone completely to waste, however. They had learned a number of things that they'd scoured the parts of the ship they could reach. It seemed that they were confined to decks A through C. C deck was as far down as they could be able to go, however. The reason being that D deck was completely submerged. Strangely, however, the water had risen no higher than D deck. The flows seemed to have been stopped somehow, as evidenced by the surface of the water on D deck, which was smooth as glass. I assume that basically means that the game creator will eventually lift up the ship and the water level will delve down, as he wants us to go down to D deck. The prince knelt down and gently drew his hand across it. Perhaps the Zero fellow has some sort of remote control to seal the water tight. Door lower down. That is exactly what I said. You are me, Prince. I am you. He said that our time limit was 9 hours. In other words, this water won't rise for 9 hours. Then you're saying we won't sink till then? Well, that way you'd be a little too optimistic. No point for wishful thinking. There were 3 metal doors on C deck. A single door stood off to the side, with 2 more on the wall facing the central staircase. None of them had numbers or verification devices. They were, however, locked like the other doors. No matter how much they were pushed or shoved, the door refused to move. The mountain and lion threw themselves against there a few more times, but to no avail. The door in the back had a keyhole. Just above it was a strange mark in the shape of a circle surrounding a dot. There were 2 other doors on Z deck as well, but it was clear that they were elevators, as each had a button next to it with an upside down triangle. They tried pushing the button, and it did not work. Apparently there was no power! We gotta go find the power and flip it on so we can get like our perks and pack-a-punch our weapons. That's the wrong game. The card reader also had a strange mark on it. It looked like a lowercase h with a dash drawn across the upper stem of the H. Junpei stared at it for a while. This is the symbol of Saturn. It's an astrological symbol. Then the mark on the other door? I think that's the sun symbol. They had seen the same symbols on A deck. There was a door on either side of the stairs. The one on the left had a keyhole with a similar symbol engraved onto it. This is the Earth symbol. The horizon line symbolizes the equator, and vertical one represents the prime meridian. Junpei looked up at the ceiling. There was a great circle cut in it, perhaps for a skylight or a glass dome, but it had been filled with gargantuan metal plate. The metal looked very solid. Anything short of an explosive charge was unlikely to damage it. There were several windows along both sides of the ship, or at least there had been. They too were covered with metal plates. In other words, they were trapped in. We're trapped! All the exits go nowhere! Junpei, you freaking opened the door by finding the, number route. The girl with the pink hair spoke up. I'm sure they go somewhere, we can't open them. Then the mountain spoke. You don't know that. For all we know, they could just open into walls or take us in circles. The prince did not agree. No, I am sure they go somewhere. Otherwise, what would be the point of them being there? And we can open them. Well, 2 of them at least. I mean the numbered doors. All eyes turned toward the doors with numbers on them. The atmosphere in the room grew tense. Hey, wait a minute. I think I said this earlier, but I don't think we should do that. The dancer moved in front of the doors as if to block them. We'd have to be crazy to open these doors. If we do that, we're doing exactly what Zero wants us to do. Suddenly, everyone began to speak at once. I agree. I don't. That's a terrible idea. We should keep going. We should stay here. No, we should. We should go forward. We don't have any other way to open any of these doors. We should just wait. Someone's bound to come find us. That is not how it's gonna happen in 9 hours, man. We don't have time for that. In 8.5 hours, this ship's gonna sink. The clamor of voices made it next impossible to determine who was saying what. The arguments grew more and more intense until people were shouting and screaming at one another. Junpei had remained silent, but at least he could take no more. Until at last he could take no more. Hey! Shut up! They fell silent and all eyes turned to Junpei. He felt each stare burning into him, but he refused to flinch. Before we try and decide where we're going to go, there's something else we gotta do. What's that? We need to exchange information. We don't know anything about each other. I want to know who you guys are. Who you are, where you came from, and why you ended up here. Don't tell me you weren't curious too. They were silent. Some of them looked the other way, or bit their lip, or crossed their arms and stared at the ceiling. But one of them spoke up. I'm glad that my main character actually takes initiative. You know how many games I've played where my character just doesn't do anything? I mean, like, Everlasting Summer, my main character, like, does absolutely nothing. Unless, like, someone else wants him to. And in Danganronpa, I'm Makoto, he doesn't even care, he doesn't even know what to do. You'll get to a point to where, like, even, I'm basically Makoto at a point, but it would be great if Makoto actually did stuff. But then one of them spoke up. It was Akane. I agree. I think Jumpy is right. Jumpy? What is Oh, I'm sorry, I was talking about Junpei. I just call him Jumpy. His name's Junpei. She pointed toward Junpei. We're childhood friends. We went to the same elementary school. Wait, stop. Don't tell us stuff we didn't ask you. Whoa, man! What? Zu's probably watching us right now. What are you gonna do if he's listening in? Would that be bad? Heck yeah, it would. We don't know how much that guy knows about us. Maybe he just picked a bunch of random people and kidnapped. And if that is the case, then it'd be dangerous for us to let him know too much. If Zero knows who we are, you can go after our families. Maybe he'd tell us he had. Oh. Well, but I don't have a family, you know? All my relatives are sort of, you know, not related to me anymore. And my parents are dead, so... RIP? Maybe he'd just tell us... Maybe he'd tell us... Had him... What? He had him to get us to do stuff. You know. I know. But we still need to know what our names are. It's gonna be hard to talk to each other if we don't have names. Alright, then why don't we have a code name? To him apparently it seemed like the obvious solution. Code names? Like Kid Next Door? Maybe. I wanna be number 5. Yeah, we'll each pick something. Like, I'll be 7. 7? Why are you 7? It seemed a fair question. The mountain stuck out of his left arm. 'Cause his bracelet here says 7. Well, I get it. That's a good idea. He smirked. Alright, I'm gonna be Santa. What? Any of you chumps know Japanese? No? Well, San means 3, so I'll be Santa. You know, like Santa Claus. Fits, don't you think? Yeah, also the white hair. Then your bracelet number? Yeah, it's gotta be 3 on it, you know. Good job, Grandpa. Just like the mountain had done, the silver thrust out his left hand. Sure enough, the face of his bracelet, well, obviously. Very well then. I'll go next, shall I? That bracelet number was 1. He is number 1. Given that, I think Ace seems appropriate. I like the name Ace. I'll be Lotus, then, as I'm sure you all know it has 8 petals. Which means, of course, that my bracelet number is 8! Oh wow! Like, I'm becoming a deducer. Like, some sort of, like, Sherlock Holmes already. I would appreciate if you call me Snake. Cause 2? Yep. I raised the number 2. Since Ace is choosing cards, I choose dice, snake eyes, clearly, which is particularly relevant given that I am blind. Blind? Really? Well, I already said that he was blind earlier. I'm already a step in front of Junpei, man. He kept his eyes closed during the entire ordeal, which had suggested something strange. But to hear it said so casually, it was something of a surprise. Everyone seemed a little nervous at the prince's proclamation, but no one seemed to know how to react to it. There was one person, however, who didn't seem to be surprised in the least. It was the girl in the pink hair. I assume they are related. I want to be Clover. You're probably 3. No, like, oh, a 4-leaf clover. Good luck, guy. Yeah, man. Look, someone's bored. She had out her left hand. 4. Wow, amazing. He come around the Junpei. Had out his bracelet. What could I do with 5? What is my code name gonna be? Let me think. If I had to become something with number 5, what would my code name be? What has 5 in it? Nothing. What am I gonna be? Why have 1? It's not like there's any point to it now. They had to cut him off mid-sentence. I mean, yeah, we all know your name already. You're Junpei. Oh. They all nodded. Akane stepped forward nervously. Then you should all call me by my name too, because I mean, it doesn't seem fair to Jumpy. Oh. You think it's cool for you to hide your name after you told us his? Akane fidgeted awkwardly. Junpei decided he had to do something. What's your bracelet number? It's 6. I don't know what I could do 6 with. She hesitated for a moment and held her left hand. As she claimed, yeah, of course it's gonna be 6. Junpei looked at her for a moment and thought. Alright then, why don't we call you June? June? Yeah, you know, it's the 6th number of the year. So you're June. Jumpy. Akane. Why did I just call it Akane? I'm playing too much Hearthstone. Akane kneaded her hands and looked up at Junpei, uncertain. He smiled back at her reassuringly. Are you good with that? She thought about it for a few more minutes, then seemed to come to a decision and gave Junpei a few minutes, man! We don't have that much time! Their names aside, Junpei ran over them quickly in his head. 1 was Ace, 2 was Snake, 3 was Santa, 4 was Clover, 5 was Junpei, Akane. Is it Akane? Is it Akane? I don't think so. It's Akane. Akane was 6, and Junpei had given her the code name June. 7 was 7. And 8 was Lotus. That meant 8 of them, including Junpei, had revealed their bracelet numbers. But there was still one person left. He was the man with glasses and hair like a bird's nest. He hadn't said anything since they met on the stairs, and he didn't look like the sort of person who was inclined to conversation. His skin was pale, and his breathing was heavy, and he was soaked with nervous sweat. His behavior seemed very suspicious, or perhaps simply emotionally unstable. It was difficult to tell. Whatever the case, it seemed clear that he had only a fingertip's worth of grip on his sanity. The girl with pink hair, Clover, walked up to him slowly. She put her hands on his hips and eyed him suspiciously. What number are you? He didn't answer. His bloodshot eyes twitched from person to person, and his breath came in hot pants? Oh, oh, that sort of pants. Hey, I'm talking to you. The man licked his dry lips with a shaking tongue and spoke with a voice like old paper. Is it obvious? There are 9 people here. You know who numbers 1 through 8 are? The only one left. So, you're 9? Yeah. He extended a trembling arm. The bracelet yeah? Clover looked at it contemptuously. What's your code name? Code name? What do you want us to call you? We all made up names, you should too. I don't need one. Why not? I'm not gonna stay here with you. He took a shuddering breath and exhaled. Clover looked at him with something very like disgust. You got some sort of plan? I do. Yeah, what's that? You sure you want to know? Yeah. Alright. Let me show you. I'm gonna do this. What? By the time they realized what he was doing, it was too late to stop him. The man's body moved like a snake's. In the blink of an eye, he had slid around behind her and wrapped his arm around her waist. Hey, what the heck do you think you're doing? Silver, Santa, leapt forward toward Clover and the 9th man. He was halfway there when... Stay back! Suddenly, the man's hand dove into his pocket. Holy crap, what? It came back out with a knife. A pocket knife.